Welcome to Crash Course in Commercial Real Estate. We converted our in-house training program to a podcast to teach you prospecting, negotiation, business planning, and other fundamental skills to become a successful commercial real estate agent. And now, here's your host, Brady Collier.
All right, well, we want to welcome you to the Crash Course in Commercial Real Estate. I'm Brady Collier. This is Kyle Cowan. And this is Shannon Powell. And so I want to give you a little bit of background about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves before we get into discussing commercial real estate. We own a commercial real estate brokerage company in Lubbock, Texas. And my partner, Grant Gafford, says that in the last 6 years, all the people we train, we say the same things over and over and over again. And why not just record it once and let our new agents watch it, and then we can just dialogue with them about questions. So since Shannon is a new agent with us and has just come on, I decided to just record it all in a podcast form. So the primary audience is going to be Shannon, A, and then B, future agents who come to work for our company. And then in a tertiary way, just any person out there who wants to know more about the commercial real estate industry, we're going to open it, just put all the information out there. And if nobody ever watches it, we'll get enough value out of our own people watching it to justify the time and expense of doing it. And so this first episode, we're going to do a little bit of bios and just to tell you who we are. And then from there, we're going to transition to why we love the commercial real estate industry and what that industry is like. And in the next several episodes, we're going to give more details on what commercial real estate brokerage is as a business. So let's go ahead and get going on the bios. I'll go first. And then Kyle, I'll ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got up into this point. Great. And then Shannon will close this portion with you. So I'm Brady Collier, and I was raised in West Texas, just south of here. And I went to grad school at Texas Tech back in the early 2000s. And I thought I was going to get a job in finance and economics, but circumstances put me in a car with a realtor trying to buy an investment property, and asked him if he liked his job. He said he absolutely loved it. And so then he set me up and I got an interview there, and I was shocked to find out that commercial real estate, well, no, at the time it was just real estate agents made six figures or better. And all these banking and finance and underwriting jobs I was looking at, they were all $50,000, $60,000. And I was like, these salespeople with no education are making double what these people with finance degrees. It just blew my mind. So I looked into it as a business and I signed on. I sold residential real estate for about 18 months, and then I didn't find it to be fulfilling for me and my personality. And I was looking across the parking lot at the commercial real estate guys at the same company, and I thought they had a better lifestyle, made better money, and so on and so forth. So I jumped into commercial real estate back in 2004, and I sold apartment complexes. So for the next almost decade, I sold apartment complexes not only in Lubbock but around West Texas, and I absolutely loved it. And so I have a wife and 5 children, and my 2 oldest are in college now, one at Lubbock Christian and one at Baylor, and then my 3 younger ones are in high school and elementary school here in Lubbock. So that's a little bit about myself. Kyle?
Awesome. I'm Kyle Cowan. I have been in the commercial real estate industry for almost 6 years now. And so originally from the Dallas area, came out to Texas Tech, door knocked, sold cable television door to door to pay for school. I think that was probably my first sales position officially, but I've always loved people, always been an overly aggressive person and not afraid to approach people and have conversations and be bold. So that worked really well, door knocking in college. Moved back to DFW and worked in Dallas for a few years in hospitality and conference services sales, and then in IT sales, eventually moving back out to Lubbock primarily to marry my wife. So I'm married. We have 3 little children that are 4, 3, 1, and a 4th one on the way, trying to catch Brady's 5. And so but initially when I got back to Lubbock, I continued in sales. I sold security systems to people's homes and did that for about 2.5 years before we met. I met Brady and Grant, who at the time just had Wheelhouse Development, which was primarily a development company, and joined them to do leasing and source new developments for the development company. And then once we got into that, found that there was a huge opportunity in Lubbock, Texas for a full-service brokerage company with a national reach. Most of the Lubbock and West Texas commercial real estate companies are local in nature or a mix of residential and commercial. And so we were landing third-party clients, that is landlords and tenants and investors by accident, as we were prospecting for our own developments and properties. And so we decided to launch NAI Wheelhouse, which is our brokerage company. And that was 4.5, 5 years ago. So been out it for 6 years. We launched NAI about 5 years ago and haven't looked back since. Absolutely love the commercial real estate business, love what it's done for my growth, both personally, financially, and my family and the partnerships and relationships. So just super thankful for what commercial real estate's done and excited to continue to grow our team with Shannon and this podcast as we look to train brokers that come on in the future.
Yeah. Shannon, before you go, like Kyle, I remember my first selling experiences. I was in Taekwondo and I had to raise money. I had to sell candy bars. And my brother and I had these boxes of candy bars and we'd go door to door. And my brother would hold the candy. He was 2 years older than me. He would hold the boxes and hand them to me, the candy bars to me. And then I would knock on people's door and I would ask them if they would buy them. And we went around the entire town and we were trying to compete with everybody, sell the most candy bars. That was whenever I was in, I was probably 7 or 8. And then I left the dairy. I was not an agrarian. I left the dairy. I started selling clothes at Bell's. When I was in college, I started selling textbooks to students because the libraries or the bookstore was ripping them off. So when I look back across my life, it was one sales gig after the other sales gig after the other sales gig. It was my destiny to be a salesperson because I was just built by God to sell, I guess. I don't know.
For better or worse.
Hopefully for better. So both of us have backgrounds in sales. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your bio, and then how you came to this point.
Okay, I'm Shannon Powell, and I have worked for this company for all of 8 days.
Nice.
And my journey leading up to this point, I'm from Lubbock, Texas, was born and raised in this town, and moved away for about 16 years to go to college, to travel the world. Married my husband in that process, and we had 3 kids, and we decided we wanted to be back closer to family, so we moved to Lubbock. And throughout this whole time, I've been in education. So I've been a teacher, and predominantly out of all that time was a counselor. And so my passion has always been people. I love working with people. I love helping, very much driven by helping others. And so Brady, when you and Grant sat me down and proposed this, and you talked about the relational aspect. I never saw commercial real estate. I always saw it as numbers and people going after sales. That's a big part of what it is. But I didn't realize the other aspect of the relational side and what you guys are doing, problem solving with people. You're ultimately helping them.
Sure. And
that is what got my attention. I was like, it's a different environment to do it, but it seems exciting in just a different way. And so that is how I ended up here. So.
Cool.